Oh my God, I just a whole long Jaidwani and there's no sound that whole time. Okay, I'm gonna do a short Jaidwani now. Thanks for letting me know, Champak Didi. All right, I'll do another Jaidwani really quickly. Okay. Jai Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki Jai. Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai. Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan ki Sai. Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Srila Param Gurudev ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Shri Rupa Nogagoriya Guru Varga ki Jai, Saparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopigan ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki Jai, Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki Jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki Jai, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki Jai, Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki Jai, Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, and the Gaudiya Bhashya of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Purushottam Vrat ki Jai, Vrat Palankari Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. All right. Hare Krishna Vidya Lala Sadidi Hari Bo. Okay, so let's find something to. Okay. Yeah, usually it just joins, like the audio starts automatically, but this time I don't know. Okay, so Gaudiya Giti Bucha, what shall we sing today? Today we're going to read about Advaita Ācārya. Maybe we should sing Jai Jai Advaita Ācārya Doyamoi. Let's do that. Okay. One second, I'm just gonna drink some water. Ajaya Jaya Advaita Ācārya Doyamon. Or maybe I'll read the translation first. All glories to the greatly merciful Advaita Ācārya. It was due to his loud roar that Śrī Gaura descended. He is the giver of prem. He is the Lord of Sita Devi and an ocean of compassion. Due to his nectarian love, the hero of Raj came again. To whomever he wants to mercifully bestow his grace, that person sings the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu submerged in prema ras. He who takes shelter of his lotus feet, of Advaita Ācārya's lotus feet, attains the supreme wealth of Gaur Prem. Lochan Das says, "Why have I not worshipped such a treasure house of mercy? Instead, I have struck my own head with a thunderbolt." Okay. This is by Lochan Das Thakur. Ajaya Jaya Advaita Ācārya Doyamon. Jaya Jaya Advaita Ācārya Doyamon. Jar hu kare gora avatar hoy. Jar hu kare gora avatar hoy. Prema tata sita nata karuna sagar. Prema tata sita nata Karuna Sagar, Jar Prema Rase Aila Brajer Nagar, Jar Prema Rase Aila Brajer Nagar, Jare Karuna Kori Kripa Dite Chai, Jar Karuna Kori Kripa Dite Chai. Prema rase se jana, say, prema rase se jana, Chaitanya guna gai. Prema rase se jana, Chaitanya guna gai. Tahara pade te jeba, doi dosharan. Tahara pade te jeba, loi dosharan. Se jana pailo gora, prema mahadam. Se jana pailo gora, prema mahadam. Emona dayara nidhi, kene na bajilo. Emona dayara nidhi, kene na bajilo. Lochan bole nija mate, bajar padilo. Lochan bole nija mate, bajara padilo. Jaya Jaya Advaita Ācārya Dayamon. Jaya Jaya Advaita Ācārya Dayamon. Ajar hum kare gor, avatar gor. Jar hum kare gor, avatar gor. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gora Advaita, Jaya Gora Advaita, Gora Advaita, Jaya Gora Advaita, Jaya Gora Advaita, Jaya Gora Advaita, Gora Advaita, Jaya Gora Advaita. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Śrī Advaita Ācārya ki Jai, Śrī Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki Jai. Śrī Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Yashoda Didi, and Amritendu. Hare Krishna. And who else is there? Haribol, Ganga Mataji, Pradyumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, and Karuna Didi. Haribol. Wait, Pradyumna Prabhu, you're asking if one can pen an English song to these? You mean, like, is it bona fide to make an English rendition of it? Yeah, that's totally fine. If that's the question, yeah, that's. Actually, we read a commentary by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in. Was it by no? Or maybe it was by Srila Saraswati Thakur in the 11th canto. I can't remember. I marked it, but he said that it's also really good to write prayers in our own words. So, but yeah, this is something that's very encouraged by Acharyas to write. especially write what we've understood and like that. What we've understood from them, I mean. All right, so this isn't a very good sign, is it, that I'm starting this program standing up. That means that I've been, in the previous program, I was falling asleep hardcore. I was playing mridanga and swaying, swaying back and forth. And even then I was starting to dream about different things. And so anyhow, we'll see how it goes. But just wanted to give you the heads up. Okay, so I guess maybe we can do the Mangala Charan now, and then then we'll start the reading. Sai. All right, you guys gonna have to bear with me today. All right, so let me open it up. Okay, there's everything that we're doing now. Okay. Ajnanatimirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Śrī Gurave namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Kṛṣṇāya Kṛṣṇa Bhaktaya Tar Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ajanulambita bhujao kanakavadato sankirtanaika pitaro kamalaya-taksho vishvambharo dvijavaro yugadharma palo vande jagat priyakaro karunavataro. Namastrikala satyaya jagannatha sutaya cha sabhrityaya saputraya sakalatraya te namaha. Avatirno sakarunyo parichinno sarishvaro Śrī Caitanya Chaitanya Nityanando dvau bhrataro bhaje. Sajayati vishuddha vikrama kanakabha kamalaya tekshana varajanu vilambi sharbhujo bahuda bhakti rasabhinartaka. Jayati jayati deva Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Chandro Jayati jayati kirtis tasya nitya pavitra. Jayati jayati bhrityas tasya vishveshamurter. Jayati jayati nrityang tasya sarva priyana. Adya Śrī Caitanya priya goshtir charane Ashisha prakare mor danda paraname. Tabe vando Śrī Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Maheshwar Navadvīpe avatar nama Vishwambhar. Tavai vasmi, tavai vasmi. Wait, let's do, what is it? Let's sing the Pranam mantra to Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. Nīlācala nivāsaya nityaya paramatmane Balabhadra subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya te namaha. Govardhana dharang vande Gopalam goparupinam Gokulotsavamishanam Govindam Gopika Priyam. Tavai vasmi na jivami tvaya vina iti vigyaya devi tvam na yamang charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshay क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वं शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दं भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानन्द Śrī Advaita Gadadhar Śrīvāsari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur. That's Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 8, verses 33 to 42. Ore mura lok shuno Chaitanya manga Chaitanya mahima jate jani beshaka. One second. Krishna lila Krishna lila bhagavate kohe ved vyas Chaitanya lila ravyas vrindavana das Vrindavana dasa koila Chaitanya mangal Jahan rashravane nashe sarvaya mangal Chaitanya nitar jate janiye mahima Jate jani Krishna bhakti siddhante sima Bhagavate jata bhakti siddhanter sar Lekhi achen iha jani Koriya udhar Chaitanya mangala shune Jadi pashandi javan Sheho mahavaishnava Hoy tatakam Manushe rachite nare Aiche granta dhanya Vrindavana dasa mukhe Bhakta Śrī Caitanya Vrindavana dasa pare Koti namaskar Aiche granta korite ho tarila sansar Narayani Chaitanyer uchishta bhajan Tar garbe janmila Śrī dasa Vrindavan Tar ki arbutta Chaitanya charita varnan Jahara shravane shuddha koilo tribhuvan Sahaje vichitra madhur Chaitanya vihar Vrindavana dasa mukhe amriter dhar. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they are described by Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. Okay. Oh wait, I'll turn on noise suppression just until they finish kirtan there. 1 second. Preferences, audio, Zoom optimize sound. Okay, there. All right, so now we are continuing on with Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. Let's look at what we read previously. Let me just open this up. Caitanya-bhāgavata summaries. 1 second. Okay. Okay. So the first 5 verses of chapter 2, which we're on, Adi Kanda chapter 2, where was the Mangala Charan. And then verses 6 to 27, we read about why the Lord descends, and explained the secondary external reason, which is to establish the Yuga Dharma through Nam Sankirtan. So as we know from Chaitanya Charitamrita, and how my Gurudev would explain it, that there are 4 reasons for Mahaprabhu's descent. He had 2 personal reasons and 2 reasons for us. And so he had a main personal reason and a secondary personal reason. And then he had a main reason for us and a secondary reason for us for appearing. And so in here in Caitanya-bhāgavata, it describes his secondary reason for us, for the jivas, which is to establish the Yuga Dharma through Nam Sankirtan. The primary reason for us jivas, was to distribute the path of Rag Marg, so that we could, the love of the Vrajvasis of Kṛṣṇa. Sorry. So that we can follow the path of Rag Marg. He wanted to give this thing, which had not been given since the previous time he was here. And then his 2 personal reasons. One was his main personal reason was to taste these 3 things of from Radharani. What is it? Radha Pranaya Mahima, to understand the glories of Sri Radha's love, to be able to taste the sweetness in him that she alone relishes. And also, what is it? To understand the glories of her love, to taste the sweetness in itself, which she alone relishes, and to, God, what is the third one? Oh, that's the last one. My mind just went blank all of a sudden. Anyhow, glories, understand the sweetness of himself, and to relish, to know and to be able to relish what Srimati Radhika is experiencing. So, and then the secondary personal reason was to answer the call of Advaita Ācārya. And why is that a personal reason? Well, it's because Advaita Ācārya is a manifestation of Mahaprabhu. Like he's an expansion of an expansion of an expansion, is Mahavishnu. That's Advaita Ācārya. So Advaita Ācārya's call for Mahaprabhu to come. And that's what we're going to be reading about today, his secondary personal reason for coming. All right, sorry, that was a terrible explanation. I'm very tired right now, so my mind's not all there right now. Okay, so let me just look at the comments really quick. Okay. Now, then verses 28 to 52, we read about the very different parikars of the Lord, different associates of the Lord who descended before the Lord. So we read about many different associates. We also read about Nityananda Prabhu, when Nityananda Prabhu made his descent. And then we read details about these associates of Mahaprabhu and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Gaudiya Bhashya, his commentary. Then all these, and we read about how all these different associates, they took birth in different inauspicious places and also in inauspicious families. And why did they do this? It was to purify their families, to purify the places. It said something like, I forgot what the rate, it said like thousands of miles around wherever they take their birth, that place becomes purified for thousands of miles around. Everybody becomes purified and the family becomes purified for 21 generations going up and going down. And so That's why and eventually they all ended up in Navadvīpa. They all met in Navadvīpa. And only Mahaprabhu knew who each one of these associates were. And yeah. So the opulence of Navadvīpa, then we read about the opulence of Navadvīpa, which is the land of learning, is that people from all over India would come to Navadvīpa because it was famous as being the most glorious place for knowledge. Everybody was very learned there in all the scriptures. And there are innumerable learned students. But the condition of that time was very sad, very sorrowful. Let's read from Caitanya-bhāgavata now. Let's just recap some of the previous verses that we read. Let me find it. I feel kind of like I'm in a dream right now. Okay. Here it is. Okay. One second, let me just move this all up. Okay. So out of compassion, Lord Krishna ordered his great devotees to appear where the Ganges does not flow, where the holy names are not chanted, and where the Pandavas did not visit. Śrī Caitanya descended to deliver the entire universe. He has confirmed this in his own, with his own words. The Lord had his devotees who are equal to him appear at impious places and in impious families in order to deliver everyone. In whatever place or family a Vaishnava appears, people for hundreds of thousands of miles around, they are all delivered. Wherever the Vaishnavas go, that place becomes a sanctified place of pilgrimage. Therefore, Śrī Caitanya and his devotees appear in all different countries. Although the devotees appeared in various places, they all met together in Navadvīpa. Because the Lord would appear in Navadvīpa, the devotees all gathered together there. There is no place in the three worlds like Navadvīpa where Lord Śrī Caitanya appeared. Knowing that the Lord would appear, Providence arranged all prosperity and opulence in advance. Who can describe the opulences of Navadvīpa? 100,000 people would take bath at one bathing ghat. By the merciful glance of Saraswati, the goddess of learning, hundreds of thousands of children, youths, and old people were expert in the scriptures. They were all proud of being great scholars. Even a young boy would challenge his teacher. Many people came from various provinces to study in Navadvīpa, because by studying there, one achieved a taste for education. Therefore, no one could count the innumerable students and millions of teachers gathered there. By the merciful glance of Rama, the goddess of fortune, everyone lived happily there. But they wasted their time in mundane activities. The whole universe was devoid of devotion to Kṛṣṇa and Balaram, and the future symptoms of the age of Kali began to manifest in the beginning of the age. People's religion consisted of fruitive activities, and they would stay awake through the night, chanting prayers to Mangal Chandi, goddess Durga. Some people proudly worshipped Vishahari, the goddess of snakes, and others spent great wealth on idol worship. Putali, not Vigraha, but Putali. People squandered money on the marriages of their sons and daughters. In this way, they wasted their human lives. Okay, so I think we read up to this point, right? Yeah. Even the so-called scholars, the Bhattacharyas, Chakravartis, and Mishras did not know the real purport of the scriptures. So we'll read from this point on. What verse was that? I forgot to, I think it was 67. Sorry, my computer froze. 1 second. 267. Oh, come on. What the heck? My computer is freaking out. Sorry, guys. It's 267. There. All right. Hare Krishna, Nri Hari Prabhu. And Amritendu. Where is that? And okay. And everybody watching on Facebook and YouTube. Okay. Jeva Advaita Ācārya Chakravarti Mishra Sab Taharao na jane sab granthayanubhav. Even the so-called scholars, the Bhattacharyas, Chakravartis, and Mishras, did not know the real purport of the scriptures. Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. The words Grantha Anubhav mean summary or purport. It is stated in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 1st canto, 2nd chapter, verses 28 to 29. In the revealed scriptures, the ultimate object of knowledge is Śrī Kṛṣṇa, the personality of Godhead. The purpose of performing sacrifice is to please him. Yoga is for realizing him. All fruitive activities are ultimately rewarded by him only. He is supreme knowledge, and all severe austerities are performed to know him. Religion, dharma, is rendering loving service unto him. He is the supreme goal of life. In his commentary on Bhagavad Gita 245, Śrī Madhvācārya quotes the following verses. In the Vedic literature, including Ramayana, the Puranas, and Mahabharata, from the very beginning, Ado, till the end, Antecha, as well as within the middle, Madhya, only Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is explained. That is from, where is that? That's Madhvācārya. No. Oh, no, that's from the Katha Upanishad, sorry. And all Vedic knowledge is searching after the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Katha Upanishad 1:2-15. The source of dharma, or religious principles, is the Vedas, the Smritis, The Smritis, their commentaries, let me reread this. The source of dharma, or religious principles, is the Vedas, the Smritis, their commentaries, the conduct of sadhus, and the satisfaction of the soul. That's from Manusamhita 2:6. That which is prescribed in the Vedas constitutes dharma, the religious principles, and the opposite of that is adharma, irreligion. That's from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 6:140. Thus, the Vedas are primarily concerned with declaring the supremacy of Vishnu. In his commentary on Mahabharata 32-34, Śrī Madhvācārya states, the Vaishnava Puranas are all factual evidence, being the same as the Pancharatra. All the original Smritis are also evidence, being supportive. In all of these works, only the supremacy of Vishnu is proclaimed, nothing else. This alone is the final analysis. Other scriptures have been written on the order of Lord Hari for the purpose of bewildering the demons. The statements of these scriptures should not be accepted, as they are meant for the asuras, and they lead one to the darkness of ignorance. In his commentary on the Vedanta Sutras 1-26, Śrī Madhvācārya quotes the following verse from the Padma Purana. Just as the Purusha Sukta continually glorifies Vishnu, my mind continually glorifies Vishnu. In his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, Śrī Madhvācārya quotes from the Navadvīpa Purana as follows. It is proclaimed that the Vaishnava scriptures consist of the Pancharatra, the Mahabharata, the original Ramayana, the Puranas, and the Bhagavatam. The Puranas glorifying Lord Shiva should be adjusted so that their statements do not conflict with the Vaishnava literatures. Those who dishonor the Vedas by taking shelter of philosophies like Gautama's Nyaya, Kannada's Vaisheshika, the atheist Kapila's Sankhya, Patanjali's Yoga, and that found in Shaivite Puranas. All these people are of low intelligence. People take shelter of this. Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, and the Yoga Sutras. So the Bhattacharyas, who were expert in teaching, the Chakravartis, who were expert in fruitive rituals, and the Mishras, who were learned scholars, all these classes of Brahmins were simply engaged in scriptural debate. Therefore, they were unable to understand the purport of the Shastras and the essence of the Vedas. They were simply engaged in a path of useless fruitive activities and mental speculation. They could not understand that the only purpose of all activities, of all the living entities, and the only goal of all scriptures is devotional service for the pleasure of Lord Hari. They could not understand this, despite being very learned. Verse 68. Shastra padaiya sabe e karma kore, shotara sahite jama pashe dubi more. And even after teaching the scriptures, the teachers still engaged in such activities. As a result, both the teachers and the students were punished by Yamaraj. Gaudiya Bhashya. The teachers by teaching and the students by learning both became entangled in the laws of karma. And due to these temporary endeavors, they ultimately became punishable by Yamaraj. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 6.3, verses 28 to 29, Sri Yamaraj spoke the following words to his servants in connection with Ajamya. Paramahamsas are exalted persons who have no taste for material enjoyment and who drink the honey of the Lord's lotus feet. My dear servants, bring to me for punishment only persons who are averse to the taste of that honey, and who do not associate with Paramahamsas, and who are attached to family life and worldly enjoyment, which is the path to hell. All these things which form the path to hell. Yeah, only bring for me punishment these persons. My dear servants, please bring to me only those sinful persons who do not use their tongues to chant the holy name and qualities of Kṛṣṇa, whose hearts do not remember the lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa even once, and whose heads do not bow down even once before Lord Kṛṣṇa. Send me those who do not perform their duties toward Vishnu, which are the only duties in human life. Please bring me all such fools and rascals. 69. Nabakane yuga dharma Krishner kirtan, dosha bina guna karo na kore kathan. They never explains the religious principle for the age, chanting the holy names of the Lord. They only found faults with others. They never glorified anyone. Gaudiya Bhashya. Other than the pure devotees who chant the names of Kṛṣṇa, the selfish conditioned souls who are averse to Kṛṣṇa are crushed by the stringent laws of karma. And instead of self-realization, they identify themselves with matter and always criticize the people of this world. Therefore, Sri Prabodhananda Saraswati Pad has stated in the Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata verse 5 as follows. For those who have attained the merciful sidelong glance of Lord Gaur, the world is the abode of happiness, and the position of Brahma, Indra, and other demigods is considered no better than that of tiny insects. Wow, that's a nice verse. Regarding the Yuga Dharma, the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 12.3.52 states, whatever result was obtained in Satya Yuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, and in Dwapara Yuga by serving the Lord's lotus feet, can be obtained in Kali Yuga simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. How does that verse go? Dhyayate Vishaya. No, I forgot it. Kalo tad Hari Kirtanat. Anyways, if I get the first word, I could say it. But the following verse from the Sri Narayan Samhita is quoted by Sri Madhvacharya in his commentary on the Mundaka Upanishad. In the Dwapar Yuga, people should worship Lord Vishnu only by the regulative principles of the Narad Pancharatra and other such authorized books. In the age of Kali, however, people should simply chant the holy names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Instead of glorifying Śrī Kṛṣṇa Kirtan as the Yuga Dharma, the argumentative and quarrelsome people of that time were busy talking about each other's temporary faults. As soon as one gives up the glorification of the Lord's qualities as soon as one gives up the glorification of the Lord's qualities and transgresses the injunctions of the scriptures, one immediately acquires the quality of pride and is swallowed by envy in the form of fault finding. That's why it's so important to never give up glorifying the Lord and the Lord's qualities, and always follow the instructions. Otherwise, we'll become proud and swallowed by envy and start to find faults in others. So we always must perform kirtan to avoid this. And the Śrīmad Bhagavatam 11:28 verses 1-2, Lord Krishna speaks to Uddhav as follows. One should neither praise nor criticize the conditioned nature and activities of other persons. Rather, one should see this world as simply the combination of material nature and the enjoying souls, all based on one absolute truth. Whoever indulges in praising or criticizing the qualities and behavior of others will quickly become deviated from his own best interest by his entanglement in illusory dualities. Let's just see the original verse, because like the Sanskrit, because this is an important verse. And what is the verse I was trying to remember? I think it's Krite Yadyayato Vishnu Tretayam Yajato Makai Dvapare Paricharyayam Kalod Tad Hari Kirtanat. I think that's it. Okay. Okay, this is the Sanskrit of what we just read. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Parasabhava Karmani na prasangsen nagar hayat vishvam ekatmakam pashyan prakritya purushena cha. I want to memorize that verse. And then the next one. And the next one is Parasabhava karmani ya prasangsati nindati sa ashu brashyate svarthad asatya bhiniveshata. Okay. So one should neither praise nor criticize the condition, nature, and activities of other persons. Okay. When the living entities engage in hearing and chanting about the absolute truth, Śrī Vrajendranandan, when they engage in hearing and chanting about Śrī Vrajendranandan, they find relief from the quarrelsome nature of Kali Yuga and thus remain fixed in the path of hearing from authorities. Then they no longer discuss topics not related with Lord Kṛṣṇa. I remember my Gurudev used to say that actually the most important thing, it doesn't even matter if we don't have any taste for chanting Harinam or a taste for anything else, but if we could just have taste in Harikatha, of hearing Harikatha from the lips of pure devotees, then everything else will be taken care of. That's all we need, and then we're on the right path. Like everything will automatically happen. So it's the most important thing. And if we don't have that taste, then we must just continue listening, and that taste will come. Okay, verse 70. Jeva sabha virakta tapasvi abhimani tansabara mukhe ho nahiko haridvani. All the so-called renunciates and ascetics never chanted the names of Hari. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word virakta is explained as follows. The mixed feelings, wait, let me just look at the Bengali again. Jeva sabha virakta tapasvi abhimani. Okay, all the so-called renunciates, virakta, okay. aesthetics, tapasvi, and abhimani. Yeah. Okay, so the word virakta is explained as follows. Usually in Bengali, virakta is like annoyed or disgusted or like, but it also means detached. The mixed feelings, so virakta means the mixed feelings born from form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. They create obstacles in a living entity's sense gratification from time to time. One who desires and tries to isolate and free oneself from such feelings is called virakta. Okay, so one who tries to isolate and free oneself from all these feelings born from form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. All this sense gratification. The word tapasvi refers to a living entity who tries to gain strength to deliver himself from the danger of being afflicted by the threefold miseries. That's the aesthetic. Although renunciation and austerity are employed as means of getting relief from the miseries of this world, if they are not engaged in the service of adhokshaj, they fail to produce the desired results. All kinds of renunciation and austerity are subsidiary eternal assets of devotees who chant the names of the Supreme Lord. Yeah, so this comes automatically for those who chant the names of the Supreme Lord, all renunciation and austerity. The endeavors of those who give up chanting the holy names and separately engage in renunciation and austerity, all their endeavors are completely useless. The communities of renunciates and ascetics aim for material enjoyment and are thus deprived of the wealth of devotional service to the lotus feet of Śrī Hari. Such people cannot expect any success from the laborious practices. Before the advent of Mahaprabhu, the renunciates and ascetics were bereft of devotional service to Hari. It is stated in the Narad Pancharatra. Aradito yadi haris tapasa tata kim, naradito yadi haris tapasa tata kim, antar bahir yadi haris tapasa tata kim, nantar bahir yadi haris tapasa tata kim. If one is worshiping Lord Hari, what is the use of severe penances? And if one is not worshiping Lord Hari, what is the use of severe penances? If one can understand that Lord Hari is all-pervading, what is the use of severe penances? And if one cannot understand that Lord Hari is all-pervading, what is the use of severe penances? In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 11:28 and verses 8 and 31, Lord Kṛṣṇa tells Uddhav, being neither very disgusted with nor attached to material life, one should achieve perfection through the path of loving devotion to me. And the cultivation of knowledge and renunciation is generally not the means of achieving the highest perfection within this world. I don't know why they never put the Sanskrit in this translation. It's so annoying. It's important to know to see the Sanskrit. What's this verse? See, that's such an important verse. Yadrichaya mat katado jatta shraddhastu ya puman na nirvinno nati sakto bhakti yoga syasiddhidha. This verse goes very deep. It goes all into practice of Raganuga Bhakti also. My Guru would explain this verse a lot. And then what's the other verse that was? Oh yeah, and this is also a very important verse. Bhidyate hridaya grantish chidyante sarvashanshaya kshiyante chasya karmani mai drishte kilatmani. Okay. Oh no, it's 31. Sorry, I did the ring. Anyways, that is a very prominent verse. Let's see what 31 is. Tasman mar bhakti yuktasya yogino vai maratmana na jnanam na cha vairagyam praya shreya bhaver iha. cultivation of knowledge and renunciation is generally not the means of achieving the highest perfection within this world. Okay. Verse 71. Ativara sukriti shesnaner shamoy Govinda pundarikaka nama ucharay. Govinda pundarikaksha nam ucharay. Sorry. Only the most pious people would recite the names of Pundarikaksha and Govinda at the time of taking bath. Everybody else was just absorbed in mundane pursuits and speculation, but some few pious people would recite the names of Pundarikaksha and Govinda at the time of taking bath. Gaudiya Bhashya. Before the Lord inaugurated the Sankirtan movement, so-called pious and religious persons chanted the names of Govinda and Pundarikaksha only at the time of taking bath in order to cleanse their sins with water. They considered this a traditional social custom. Otherwise, these people never chanted the names of Vishnu, even by mistake. Rather, they believed that chanting the names of Govinda and Pundarikaksha by everyone at all times is prohibited. They thought you shouldn't chant. They thought that the names of Govinda and Pundarikaksha should not be chanted by unqualified persons or at improper times. This is how unfortunate and averse to Lord Hari the communities of so-called followers of the Vedas were. Ultimately, this consideration was checked by the Nam Ācārya Shikshashtaka verse of the most magnanimous friend of the living entities, Śrī Caitanya-dev. Nam Ācārya bahuda nijasarva shaktis tartarpitani niyamita smarane nakada. Okay, verse 72. Gita Bhagavata Jai Janite Porai Bhaktir Vyakhyana Nahi Tahar Jivai. Even when someone explained the Bhagavad Gita or Śrīmad Bhagavatam, they would not mention anything about devotional service to the Lord. Bhaktir Vyakhyana Nahi Tahar Jivai. On their tongue, there is never any explanation. Coming from their tongue, there is never any explanation on bhakti. Gaudiya Bhashya. In his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, Śrī Madhvacharya quotes the following verse from the Mahakurma Purana. Bharatam sarva shastreshu bharate gitika vara Vishnu sahasranamapi geyam patyam chatadvayam. Mahabharat is the best of all scriptures, and Bhagavad Gita and Vishnu Sahasranam are the best parts of the Mahabharat. They should always be studied and recited. Lord Shri Krishna is the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is a listener. Śrīmad Bhagavad Gita consists of 700 shlokas in 18 chapters and is found in the Bhishma Parva of the Mahabharat. It is the first book to be read by persons on the spiritual path. Śrīmad Bhagavatam consists of 18,000 verses and is one of the 18 Puranas composed by Sri Vyas. It is the crest jewel of the Sattvata Puranas. This spotless Purana is also called Sattvata Samhita, or Paramahansi, that which is meant for swan-like persons. It is stated in the Garuda Purana, Arthoyam Brahmasutranam Bharatartha Vinirnaya Gayatri Bhashya Ruposo Vedartha Paribrimhita. The meaning of the Vedanta Sutras, the full purport of the Mahabharat, the commentary on Brahma Gayatri, and the fully expanded knowledge of the Vedas are all present in the Śrīmad Bhagavatam. From this statement, it is understood that this emperor of all literatures, or spotless Praman, the best of the spotless evidence, is also a Shruti like the Upanishads. See Śrīmad Bhagavatam 1.4.7, spoken by Shanak Rishi to his spiritual master Sri Shukadeva Goswami. It is also Nyaya like the Brahma Sutras. See Śrīmad Bhagavatam 12.13.15. And it is also Smriti like the Mahabharat and the Puranas. Regarding the glories of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, One may refer to the Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya Kanda chapter 21 and Antya Kanda chapter 3. Also, Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila chapter 1, Madhya Lila chapters 20, 24, and 25, Antya Lila chapters 5, 7, and 13, and Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu's considerations in the Tattva Sandarbha verses 8, Anuched 18 to 28. This literature is always discussed among liberated swan-like Vaishnavas. At that time, those who studied pure devotional literatures like the Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad Bhagavatam never explains that worshiping the Supreme Lord is the only duty of living entities. The recitation and teaching of Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad Bhagavatam was meant for achieving immediate sense gratification, and they thus twisted the meanings of these two books to make them appear like the ordinary book Saptashati Chandi, which is meant for satisfying one's senses. And the non-devotee communities presently recite Gita and Bhagavat in this way. Such recitation of Gita and Bhagavat by conditioned souls who are simply interested in sensual happiness is an obstacle for one's advancement and simply leads one to hell, because that is never recitation of Gita and Bhagavat. Rather, such recitation is a collection of ordinary mundane words for gratifying the senses. The Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad Bhagavatam are the crest jewels of all scriptures. They are as great and as worthy of taking shelter of as Kṛṣṇa himself, and they are the transcendental manifestations of Śrī Kṛṣṇa Kirtan. They are neither mundane philosophical books nor ordinary poetry that are accessible to the mundane ears and tongues of materialistic people. This class of speakers and listeners who are interested in sensual happiness are ever bereft of the merciful glance of magnanimous Mahaprabhu. Verse 73. Emata Vishnu Maya Mohita Sangsar Deki Bhakta Sava Dukha Bhaven Apar. Seeing the entire world illusioned by the Lord's external energy in this way, all the devotees felt unlimited distress. Hare Krishna, Shubhananda Prabhu, and Pradyumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, and Indira Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay. Gaudiya Bhashya. So, seeing the entire world illusioned by the Lord's external energy in this way, all the devotees felt unlimited distress. Now we're going to read about the condition of about the devotees. Gaudiya Bhashya. The devotees of the Lord became extremely unhappy seeing the activities of so-called scholars and persons maddened with the materialistic way of life. On seeing persons who are under the influence of Vishnu's illusory energy seeing them proudly considering themselves great, the devotees exhibited distress for the benefit of such persons. If proud scholars are openly checked from sinful endeavors, then on the strength of their misguided intelligence, they may attack the devotees who are bestowing their mercy. Such attacks may then hinder their endeavors for spiritual advancement. With this thought in mind, the pure devotees who are para dukkha dukhi, they are unhappy for others' unhappiness. They are unhappy in seeing others' distress. They had no alternative other than to display distress upon seeing the living entity's aversion to Lord Hari. They knew that those foolish living entities under the influence of false ego are bewildered by the covering and throwing potencies of the illusory energy of Vishnu. Such people are travelers on the path of death. Such people are travelers on the path of death, and they are in great danger. So the devotees thought, Kemone e jiva sab paibe udhar, Vishaya sukhete sab mojilo sangsar. They thought, how will these people be delivered? The whole world is simply absorbed in material enjoyment. Gaudiya Bhashya. How will these people facing danger be eternally benefited? The hearts of those devotees were filled with compassion. They understood that living entities who were averse to the Lord were simply absorbed in sensual happiness. In other words, people considered material sense gratification as their immediate self-interest and source of enjoyment. They thus completely forgot pure devotional service to the Lord. Boli leo keho nahi loy Krishna naam, nirabadi vidyakul koren vyakhyan. People will not chant the names of Krishna even if they are instructed. Rather, they constantly glorify their education and good birth. Gaudiya Bhashya. When one of the pure devotees chanted the name of Krishna, the non-devotees would disregard the devotional process of the pure devotees, or the Paramahansa Vaishnavas, by proclaiming their own noble birth and exhibiting their prowess in mundane knowledge. Don't you know who I am? Regarding such people, Thakur Śrī Narottam has sung as follows. Nitai na bolilo mukhe, mojilo sangsara sukhe, vidyakule ki koribe tar, she sambandha nahi jar, vrita janma gelo tar, she pashu boro durachar, she pashu boro durachar. One who does not chant the names of Nityananda becomes absorbed in material happiness. Of what benefit is such a person's vidya, or so-called academic education, and his kul, his birth in a high family or great nation? Anyone who has no relationship with Nityananda is simply spoiling his human form of life. Such a person is like an untamed animal. Verse 76. Swakarya koren sab bhagavata gan, Kṛṣṇa puja ganga snan, Krishner kathan. The great devotees, however, followed their prescribed duties like worshiping Krishna, bathing in the Ganges, and discussing topics of Krishna. Gaudiya Bhashya. The devotees gave up the association of those who were averse to Krishna and continued to chant the names of Krishna, discuss the topics of Krishna, drink the charanamrita of Krishna, serve Krishna, and take bath in the Ganges. The devotees continually engaged in such activities in order to remain aloof from the service of Maya. Sabe mili jagatere kore ashirvad, shigra Krishna Chandra koro sabare prasad. They all bestowed their blessings on the people of the world and prayed, "O Krishna Chandra, please quickly bestow mercy on these people." Gaudiya Bhashya. Whenever the devotees failed to change the extremely materialistic Pashandi's mentality by their cultivating of Krishna consciousness, they would pray for Krishna to bestow his mercy on them. 78. She Navadvīpe Vaishe Vaishnavagraganya Advaita Ācārya Nam Sarva Loke Danya. Now we're going to read the glories of Advaita Ācārya. Residing in Navadvīpa at that time was Advaita Ācārya, the topmost Vaishnav, who is glorified throughout the world. Gaudiya Bhashya. Even in that society of such materialistic persons, Śrī Advaita Ācārya was glorified and worshipped by everyone and accepted as a spokesman for the Vaishnavas. So everybody honored Advaita Ācārya. He was accepted as a spokesman for the Vaishnavas. Okay. 79. Jnana bhakti vairagyer guru mukhyatar, Krishna bhakti bhakhanite jeheno shankar. Śrī Advaita Ācārya was the most respected teacher. He was as expert as Lord Shiva in explaining the devotional service of Lord Kṛṣṇa with knowledge and renunciation. In fact, he was Shiva, wasn't he? Gaudiya Bhashya. As the greatest teacher of the science of Kṛṣṇa, devotional service to Kṛṣṇa, and renunciation of everything unrelated to Kṛṣṇa, Śrī Advaita Ācārya preached the glories of pure devotional service to the Lord. He manifested pastimes like those of Sri Rudra, who is the principal Acharya for broadcasting devotional service and the inaugurator of the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya. Just as Śrī Śaṅkarācārya, the incarnation of Shankar, scattered and covered the devotional service of the Lord through his philosophy, arguments, and scholarship in order to bewilder the demoniac people, Śrī Advaita Prabhu exhibited the true identity of pure knowledge, devotional service, and renunciation in the course of explaining the devotional service of Kṛṣṇa by his uncommon endeavors and activities. That's so interesting. Wait, because in a way, I mean, Advaita Ācārya is explained as being Mahavishnu, but also Shambhu, right? Shiva, if I understand correctly, because the Naimittic Karan and Upadan Karan. And anyhow, I need to I should look in that more carefully. But just as Śaṅkarācārya scattered and covered the devotional service of the Lord through his philosophy, arguments, and scholarship in order to bewilder the demonic people, Śrī Advaita Prabhu exhibited the true identity of pure knowledge, devotional service, and renunciation in the course of explaining the devotional service of Kṛṣṇa by his uncommon endeavors and activities. So I wonder if it's like, Shiva had to perform that very, he was not happy about that service at all. We read in the Shiva Tattva book. But now in the form of Advaita Prabhu, he got to do the opposite. That must have been so yeah, just a nice change. The Acharyas of the Rudra Sampradaya are known as Vishnu Swami because they preach pure devotional service. A few disciples of the Rudra Sampradaya gave up subordination to their spiritual master, or the process of accepting knowledge through oral reception, and practiced adulterated devotional service. They then created a new sampradaya known as the Shiva Swami Sampradaya. Śrī Śaṅkarācārya appeared in this Shiva Swami Sampradaya and vigorously preached adulterated devotional service in this world. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that Śaṅkarācārya came in like a bogus offshoot of the Rudra Sampradaya. That's so interesting. It's the first time I've heard that. Śrī Śaṅkarācārya appeared in this Shiva Swami Sampradaya and vigorously preached the adulterated devotional service in the world. Since less intelligent people considered both pure and adulterated devotional service as the same, they were cheated from achieving eternal benefit. Verse 80. Tribhuvane ache jato shastrera prachar sarvatra bhakhane Kṛṣṇa pada bhakti sar. Śrī Advaita Ācārya explained all the scriptures that are found in the three worlds and concluded that devotional service to the lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa is the essence of all teachings. Was it Sarvatra Vakane? All the Shastras, they are Kṛṣṇa Pada Bhakti Sar. The essence is Kṛṣṇa Pada Bhakti. Bhakti to the feet of Kṛṣṇa. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Mahabharata Tatparya 153, it is stated, Paramo Vishnur Evaikas Taj Jnanam Mukti Sadhana Shastranam Nirnayastvesha Tad Anyam Mohanaya Hi. Vishnu is the one Supreme Lord. Knowledge of him is the means of liberation. He alone is the object of the scriptures. To conclude anything else is a cause of delusion. It's a nice verse. Śrī Advaita Ācārya always preached that one should eternally take shelter of the service of Krishna's lotus feet, as this is the essence and goal of all scriptures within the three worlds. Śrī Advaita Prabhu preached that devotional service to Krishna is the essence of all scriptures and the only objective of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, which is Śrī Vyasadev's natural commentary on the Brahma Sutras, the fountainhead of all scriptures. By preaching Śrīmad Bhagavatam, he checked all kinds of false speculation and conclusions that are opposed to pure devotional service. He thus endeavored to establish the attitude of service to the Supreme Lord in the hearts of his audience. Tulasi manjari sahita ganga jale niravadi seve Krishne mahakutuhale. Śrī Advaita Ācārya would enthusiastically worship Krishna with tulsi manjaris and Ganges water. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Gautamiya Tantra is quoted in the Hari Bhakti Vilas as 11.110 as follows. Tulasi dalamatrena jalasya chulukena va vikrinite samatmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsala. Sri Krishna, who is very affectionate toward his devotees, sells himself to a devotee who offers merely a tulsi leaf and a palm full of water. So easy, huh? I mean, so merciful also. Krishna, he sells himself to a devotee who merely offers a tulsi leaf and a palm full of water. So tulsi is that dear to Krishna also. Tulsi Manjari is a Mahabhagavat and Tadiya Vastu, that which is related to the Supreme Lord, the Lord's own property. Ganga Jal is referred to as the nectar emanating from the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, or the ingredient used in worshipping Krishna. Various foodstuffs are offered to Krishna with tulsi manjaris, which are dear to Krishna, and Ganges water, which purifies the world. Śrī Advaita Prabhu began to continuously worship Krishna with such ingredients in order to amend the polluted form of Dwapara Yuga. To amend the polluted form of Dwapara Yuga worship practiced at the time. His intention was that living entities would give up sense gratification and become devotees by seeing the behavior of pure Mahajans. 1 second, just checking the comments. Okay. Hunkara koroye Krishna avasher teje je dvani brahmanda bhedi vaikunthe te baje. He loudly called for Krishna in great spiritual ecstasy. That sound vibration pierced the covering of the universe and was heard in the Vaikuntha planets. Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Advaita Ācārya Prabhu was a plenary incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, by his great endeavor and influence, his chanting of Krishna's names crossed beyond the enjoying realm and sensual perception of the material world and echoed in the supreme abode of Vishnu, the transcendental Vaikuntha lokas, which are composed of pure goodness. Within this universe, there are 14 planetary systems, among which Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, and Satyaloka are situated at the top of the three worlds. Śrī Advaita Ācārya Prabhu engaged in Lord Hari's service by chanting the names of Krishna, which crossed beyond these planets born of the material modes of nature and entered into the transcendental realm of Vaikuntha, which is free of all anxiety. 83. Jai Premer Hunkar Shuniya Krishna Nath Bhakti Vashe Apane Jai Hoila Shakat. On hearing Advaita Prabhu's cries of love, Lord Krishna personally appeared, for he is controlled by the love of his devotees. Jai Śrī Advaita Ācārya ki Jai, Śrī Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki Jai. Jaya Jaya Advaita Ācārya Doya Moy Jar Hum Kare Gor Avatar Hoy. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Lord of Śrī Advaita Prabhu, Śrī Kṛṣṇa, heard Advaita Ācārya, Krishna heard Advaita Ācārya's loud cries of love, and to fulfill his prayer and accept his pure service, the Lord appeared for the benefit of Advaita Prabhu's followers. So we can never even begin to imagine how indebted we are to Advaita Ācārya. Verse 84. Ataiva Advaita Vaishnava Agraganya Nikhila Brahmande Jar Bhakti Yoga Dhanya. Therefore, Advaita Ācārya is the best of all Vaishnavas. Vaishnava Agraganya. There is no comparison to his devotional service in the entire universe. Nikhila Brahmande Jar Bhakti Yoga Dhanya. Gaudiya Bhashya. For all these reasons, Śrī Advaita Prabhu is the first and foremost of the Vaishnavas. He is famous as the topmost devotee in the entire universe. In this world, there is no devotee engaged in the service of Hari like him. He is personally Vishnu Tattva, and as an Acharya, he is an incarnation of a devotee and as good as Hari. He is Bhakta Avatar. He's Mahavishnu. Okay, verse 85. E mata advaita vaishen nadiyai bhakti yoga shunya loka dekhi dukha pai. In this way, Advaita Ācārya resided in Nadia in great distress due to the people's lack of devotion. Gaudiya Bhashya. In order to benefit materialistic persons, Śrī Advaita Prabhu displayed the pastime of worshipping Kṛṣṇa while residing in Mayapur. The pathetic condition of those who are averse to Hari caused excessive pain to his heart. Shakala sangsara mata vyavahara rase Kṛṣṇa puja Kṛṣṇa bhakti karuna hi vase. Everyone in the entire world was engaged in materialistic activities. No one was engaged in worshipping or serving Śrī Kṛṣṇa. Gaudiya Bhashya. Whether scholar, fool, child, elder, or woman, everyone in Navadvīpa at that time was absorbed in the 5 types of sense gratification. None of them had any taste for constantly serving the worshipable Lord Kṛṣṇa with their senses. People's tastes were so perverted that they were simply interested in worldly activities with no inclination to for the worship of Lord Hari. Oh wait, I think, what time? What I forgot what we're reading up to 85. Oh, I went past. Should we continue reading? Let me just look at, 1 second. We could end early today, or we could sing the Advaita Ashtakam. Maybe let's do that. Let's sing the Advaita Ashtakam. We can either sing the Advaita Ashtakam or try to read up to 89. Let me check the comments. Okay, nobody wrote anything. So I guess I'll just make a decision. Okay, okay, I'm going to sing Advaita Ashtakam. I decided. Okay, great. Indira Mataji just wrote Ashtakam. Perfect. Okay. So let me just find it to look at my email. Advaita Ashtakam. Okay, song for the appearance day of Advaita Ācārya there. Usually it gives an option to see it in my. That's so weird. Actually, let me check the Gaudiya Kirtan email. I'll find it there. Advaita. What was it? Song for the appearance of Advaita. There it is. Huh. That's so strange. Anyways, I think I can just zoom in like that. That works. I won't be able to make the text that big though. Oh wait, this isn't the Advaita Ashtakam. Where is Advaita Ashtakam? Sorry, Advaita Ashtakam. That's so weird. Okay, maybe I won't find our translation. We translated that. I need to organize my files better. Advaita Ashtakam. I can't find it. That's annoying. I remember sending it out on the Gaudiya Kirtan mailing list though. I could find it in MailChimp. Anyways, I'm taking up too much time though. So I think I'll just end now. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Advaita Ācārya Dayamaya. 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 जार हुंकारे कोर अवतार होय. जार हुंकारे कोर अवतार होय. गौराया देता जय गौराया देता. गौराया देता जय गौराया देता. अद्वैत गौरंग जय. अद्वैत गौरंग. अद्वैत गौरंग जय. अद्वैत गौरंग. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhar Vikagiridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Guru Dev ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Mahabhagavat Shri Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj ki Jai Nitya Pravishta Shri Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai Nitya Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai Shri Rupa Nogoriya Guru Varga ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Shar Goswami Prabhu ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Gora Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Pradati Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda Yamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai Shri Advaita Ācārya ki Jai Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki Jai Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki Jai Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Gaudiya Bhashya ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo Vrindai Tulsi Devaya Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpataru Bhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, dear devotees. Hari Bol.
Dandavat pranams, Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Bol, Hari Hari Prabhu, Dandavat pranams. And Champak Didi, Hare Krishna. And Amritendu, Hare Krishna. And who's on Facebook? Let's see. Vidya Lala Sadidi, Govinda Saha, Ganga Mataji, Pradumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Sudevi Didi, Dandavat pranams. Karuna Didi, Pradumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, I already said that. Indira Mataji, Hare Krishna, Shubhanand Prabhu, and everybody else watching, Hare Krishna. Oh, wait, 1 second. Let's see what we're going to read tomorrow. What are the topics for tomorrow? Where is it? I have it right here. There, okay. So today we read the glories of Advaita Ācārya and his teaching of the scriptures and worship of Kṛṣṇa and his distress due to the condition of the people. So then tomorrow we're going to read more descriptions of the degraded condition of the people and Advaita's distress and determined prayers to make the Lord descend. And then we'll read a description of Srivas and other devotees in Navadvīpa at that time. They would meet together to mitigate their distress on the sorrowful condition of the people. Advaita Ācārya even began to fast. So that's all tomorrow. We'll read about that. All right, thank you so much for joining and tolerating my sleepiness. And Hare Krishna Amritandu. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. Hare Krishna.